Okay, so I've talked about how our energy comes from geologic materials and geologic processes, but we have some problems with this. Okay? One is that these materials are limited, right? I've been talking about how oil and gas and coal can take millions of years to form. The uranium on Earth was formed billions of years ago, right? Which means that as we use it, it's not being replenished at the same rate. So energy usage in industrialized countries, including the United States, has grown at a dizzying speed through the mid-20th century, right? 1950s and beyond, our consumption of oil, natural gas, coal has skyrocketed. So oil remains the single largest source of energy globally, accounting for about 33% of global energy consumption. During the latter half of the 20th century, this is when the problem really started. And that's because conventional oil supplies within the borders of industrialized countries where we could access these oil supplies could no longer match the demand. So these countries began to import more oil than they could themselves produce. So if we look at this chart, it's showing the oil discovery in around the world, right? Versus the consumption of that oil around the world. And you can see that around 1980, we started using more oil than we were discovering, right? That's not to say we were using more oil than is currently contained within Earth. We were just using more oil than we were discovering within Earth. As a result of this, right, new discoveries can no longer keep up with the rate of consumption. So society is tapping into reserves faster than those reserves are increasing, meaning those reserves are being replenished through geological processes, but also then we are actually finding new reserves, right? So as a result, the price of oil has been rising unsustainably, right? From the 1980s, that's when we started using more oil than we were discovering. And from the 1980s on, that's when oil prices have gone way, way up. Not only have carbon prices gone way, way up, also carbon emissions have gone way, way up as we use more and more fossil fuels in our daily lives, right? And this is driving climate change. When carbon is released into the atmosphere, when we burn these fossil fuels that have carbon in them, they go into the atmosphere, that causes climate change, right? So for these reasons and for many other sustainability reasons, in the future, nuclear, solar, and wind are expected to become much more important sources of energy.